What's up, you guys? This is Robert at Shy Bears Plus. You found us on YouTube. Go ahead and go on Twitter and Instagram, Shy Bears Plus. Give us a follow. Now that you're here, go ahead and subscribe. Smack the bell so you don't miss any content. And along with me, once again, via the National Information Infrastructure, Jeff at Plus_Shy. Say hello to the people. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Those sunglasses are hot. Almost as hot as Jeff's best bets. Everyone knows it. But today we will be discussing the Bears' Week 8 victory, 24-10 over the New York Football Jets, Jets. We are going to go over what we did right, what to watch for in our pluses. We're going to do predictions, see how we did on that, and our hot takes and wrap-ups. So let's jump right in with Robert's what to watch for. My Mac or no Mac, what was going to happen with that? We got no Mac. I said that Eric Daniels was going to get the start and probably not going to ever give up that spot.
Stop. Can you stop real quick?
Yeah.
You said James Daniel, or you said Eric?
I said Eric,
Daniel?
didn't I?
You did that last week too. Just I'm on it.
Hey, thank you. Correction. That's why we got Staff Boy here.
James Daniels, number 68 from Iowa.
Yes. Jets will try to establish the run with Crowell. Oh, they tried. They tried for sure. But Akeem Hicks and company were having none of that. Back to business. I wanted Pace to get back to using Howard. He used him for 22 times for 81 yards and a touchdown. And then what to watch for, watching Fangio be a little bit more aggressive this week. We saw him man up a little bit, little man under one, and we saw some quarterback blitzes. So I feel like we did a pretty good job with the what to watch for on the Shy Bears Plus side. So what about at Plus_Shy?
Yes, sir. Bears pass rush was one thing to watch for, and we saw an addition of that, whether it came from a Bryce Callahan or a Danny Trevathan or an additional defensive lineman or something like that. And 96 just continues to be a beast out there. 91, You're seeing him flash more. 58, great job. Bears blowout. Talked about how 10 of the 11 pundits on ChicagoBears.com picked the Bears to win. So they did win by 2 touchdowns. They did cover the spread of 8 as they were the home favorites. They pretty much could have won by 28, really.
Yeah.
Could have won by the first half. So, but this is a young football team. That's what is to be expected. We are in a very fortunate situation where they are at in their maturation process so far this season. And then special teams. The special teams did a adequate job. They didn't give up the ball game, but there was still some questionable plays there. Tariq Cohen made one later in the game on a punt return. So Parkey missed that 40-yarder. So that was what to watch for.
I love Cohen, one of my favorite players on the team, but he always wants to do something like that. He gets away with it so many times, whether it's running the wrong way, not getting upfield, maybe almost fumbling, things like that. He gives you a heart attack, but he somehow got that ball back. What were you gonna say?
Other than that 70-yard play, he was so lateral, that.
Yeah. And then,
excuse me.
Your pass rush, I saw a stat that Floyd actually had 6 hurries without Mac. So he was getting in there. He was getting it done. We didn't have any sacks out of the defensive line or linebackers. We just had one out of our cornerback. So we found a way to get the pressure. I mean, some sacks can be overrated. I sure like to get the quarterback on the ground, but they can be overrated. Darnold wasn't very comfortable out there. So, Bears, victory, pluses. Ashai Bear plus Roberts, pluses were 60 minutes, 3 phases. The Bears didn't play a complete game. You know, they didn't do the 60 minutes. They had some lapses in some of the phases. Still enough to get it done, but this could have been a sincere molly-whopping blowout, and it just didn't happen. But, like I said, enough to get the job done. Then I said, I'm done running, I'm done playing, run the dang ball early, and run the ball, and run the dang ball they did. And I'm very glad to see the effort in the run game and Pace getting back to that a little bit. I wanted a little bit more run with shotgun runs in the A-zone stretch. I really didn't see Trubisky handing the ball off after being under shotgun as much as I kind of hoped to. I thought that there was a potential there running the A-zone, but they were running a lot of trap, and they were running a lot of pulling and tackle. I saw some power plays, I guess you would call them. So they got the job done. I'm not really worried about it, but that was just something I thought was going to happen. I said they had to stop Crowell, and they did that. I mean, he probably ran for 1.7 yards per carry or something like that. I don't have it sat in front of me.
I think it was 0.6.
Was it 0.6?
2.6. I think as a team, 2.6.
Okay, 2.6 as a team. I think it would have been 1.7 for him, though.
Not going to win many games with that.
Yeah. Bears get ahead, stay ahead. We scored early, but then we had a nice little lull to the second half. I would have really liked to bury this team because I know at halftime I was freaking out just a little bit. Luckily, the voice of reason at +_shy talked me off the ledge there. And good versus bad Trubisky. You saw a ton of good. You saw some bad. Some of it was wind and rain related. But for the most part, I thought it was a pretty gritty performance. And in the second half, I felt like he really took over the game. Maybe it wasn't with the flashiest, but it was up to Trubisky to move the team down the field. So those are my Bears victory pluses with a little bit of some tangent on top of it.
I like the tangent. I usually get tangent on top.
That's what they come for.
You got to blitz the rookie quarterback. That was my first number one Bears victory plus. It led to only 10 points in the game given up by this top 10 ranked defense by the Chicago Bears. Establish and maintain a rhythm and maintain that rhythm into the fourth quarter. I mentioned the stat a couple days ago how the Bears had a very poor, if not last in the league in fourth quarter scoring percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a better job. Great job. Second half, Bears coaching staff making adjustments, really flat or, Coach Bowles is really good at pressuring with the zero blitzes and whatnot. Or cover zero, excuse me. So that really flustered, I thought, Mitchell in the first half or the Bears coaching staff. They made the adjustments. Second half, they played great, looked great. Mitchell came out, energy all four quarters. They looked there. And then team tackling. We did not see, you and I both talked about Isaiah Crowell having that breakout game essential for the Jets to win. That didn't happen due to the team tackling, better effort, energy by the Bears defense. Bears victory pluses led to the 24-10 victory.
Very good. Now we're going to see how we did with the Jets victory pluses from Robert here. If I were trying to beat the Bears, I would try to run the ball and possess the ball and try to wear down this Bears defense. I think they tried, and they did not succeed. We were so stout and so good against the run. We didn't allow any of that. And I knew that they were going to try to work the play action after that, and they couldn't get the job done. It was a good plan. I mean, they were hung in the game. They took the ball out of Darnold's hand, which was another one of my Jets victory pluses. They didn't put it all on him, and they tried to play a nice, calm, run the ball. Let's be safe. Let's not let this kid make a bunch of mistakes. So that was another one. And I thought we would see Cannon get some more opportunities on the backfield. He had 9 touches for only 22 yards. I thought that they would pass him a lot more. They tried to sneak him out with the wheel route in that third quarter, I think it was. Or might have been second. But they couldn't connect on it. So that was something that I thought that they would try a little bit more of. And then you had just mentioned in the last segment the Bulls blitzes. Bulls did dial up that cover 0, and Mitch found Cohen for a 70-yard touchdown. It was fantastic. And I did put in there to beware Bulls because Mitch is getting better. I did that in the last video. Said that he was actually starting to show some growth in those situations and hitting checkdowns, and he found them right away. So those were my Jets Victory Pluses. I feel like we pretty much nailed this game. I don't know about you, but let's see what you had.
Well, it sounds like most every pre and post game you and I do, we pretty much nail them. And then just a few other things about that 70-yard play. Someone mentioned on Twitter, one of the many people that we follow, that Daniels ducked his head in order for that ball to be completed. Nagy mentioned how difficult it is when there is that cover 0 blitz for the patience of the offensive line, Cohen and Mitchell all working in unison there. They did an exceptional job. And then number 18 at the back end, blocking downfield 30, 40 yards. That's how you get 70-yard plays. And that's ultimately what led to the victory. Make 10 beat you. You and I talked a few weeks ago about almost, Mitchell had 2 or 3 300-yard games in a row, and almost dialing that back, we almost rather see a Mitchell Trubisky throw for 220 yards thereabouts, 2 touchdowns, and maybe more of that ball control. Howard, we saw that earlier in the year, and that's kind of what we got. Mitchell was very all over the place in the first half, but I think they really settled things down, and Mitchell did not lose the game. 220 yards, couple touchdowns. Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah.
As long as we're going to win. You know what I'm talking about? The Jets needed to score on special teams, on defense, and some kind of trickery. None of that really happened. And then the running backs needed to dominate. You mentioned the backup, who they did give a inside carry to on that 4th and 1 in the first quarter, I believe. And I thought that both teams played to win the game. There was quite a few 4th downs going forward in that situation, which you see more and more prevalence in the NFL. But both of these coaching staffs were aggressive, and that was surely highlighted by Matt Nagy throwing the ball on 1st down. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I think the New York Jets Victory Pluses, they didn't do it. That's why they didn't get the plus.
Yeah. I observed that, felt the same way about Trubisky. I don't really care about all the flashy. I don't need 6 touchdowns every week. I want W's. We're trying to stack some dubs. We're trying to go to club dub more in shoulder field. But they did struggle in the first half a little bit, and it did seem like they took a step back. Let's run the ball a little bit. We understand the conditions. I felt like they didn't make the adjustment. I feel like this team does make the adjustment. And you mentioned that blocking down the field. Every week, if it's not Gabriel making an effort for a little dude, Howard last week with a huge block, he decleated somebody on that 4th and 1 on that quarterback sweep or whatever that was. Yeah. And I feel like Burton, every time we turn around, Burton's 30 yards on the field with an effort block. Man, there's a lot of buy-in here.
Yeah, definitely. And I do think that's why Kevin White, a little bit of the Robinson injury, but that's why Kevin White is getting more playing time, is because his ability to block downfield is giving him opportunities to make a couple catches.
Right. One stat I did see that Bellamy led the team in snaps at wide receiver. I was a little shocked with that. But not a huge fan. It's a tribute to Nagy and Trubisky. Sorry for this huge tangent, to get something out of Bellamy, in my opinion, because no one else could get it out of him, and somehow he's actually catching the ball now. So, we'll see. How did our predictions go? I had Bears 27, Jets 17, actual score 24-10. I feel like I was within a score of both, not too bad. I just didn't feel like we would put together a full, complete game to give them the whooping they so rightly deserved from a team like the Bears.
Yeah, very difficult to do when you are controlling the pace of play and you don't play a great first half.
Mm-hmm.
Bears 45-17. They were 8-point favorites at home, as I mentioned earlier. The Jets only scored 10, so I was kind of close on that. And the Bears won by 2 scores, but that's nowhere near the 45 points that I was being the homer. And hey, it's an internet show.
Right. But they covered, though.
6-0.
That's
yes,
right.
I think that's the first Bears win pick this season, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I do believe it. Be you. Hot takes, comments, things to talk about.
Yeah.
I wrote down about 10 things here. Bryce Callahan had an 80.5 PFF grade, and you and I were going back during the game talking about how he kept on flashing, in coverage, making tackles on the blitz. Probably my standout player, my other standout player on offense. Surprisingly, even though I just put up a Jordan Howard right behind my head here, Tariq Cohen, without that Tariq Cohen play in the first half, we could have been in some deep doo-doo. And it was such a big play at the time, considering we got nothing else. They could have went into that second half with even more confident. We could have been down 3-0. So, he put together 40 yards rushing and 70 yards catching. He was my player of the game on offense. I know that's not a segment that we do, but those are just 2 performances that I really liked because they were impact making. Oh, we got a pet. We got a pet. What a Eric this just in. James Daniels just changed his name to Eric Daniels. Sources say. Just kidding, folks.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were for real.
No.
All right, I got some hot takes for you.
Shoot.
Just a Hicks highlight package at the end of the first quarter. I think Fox led went outro at the end of the first quarter with a Hicks highlight package. Just real strong stuff. He just continues to be a leader, and with his play and how he contorts himself, although he did get kicked
minus
out
the ejection.
Yeah, forgot about that. Bears defense 6-3 and outs. That was welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any Khalil Mack. We didn't have Robinson. These are arguably 2 of the best players on each side of the ball. And yes, the Bears did not blow out this team, but they did what they were supposed to do. They had a team that has less talent than them with a rookie quarterback on the road. You were supposed to win those games, and the Bears did that. And over the last 3 years, we have not seen that.
Right.
Bears were nearly double-digit favorites without one of the best players in the league on defense on the field, and they still managed a way to win by 2 touchdowns. So you're starting to see, I think, a turning of the corner by this Bears organization with that.
Can I add something real quick to that?
Please do.
At the end of our last show, I was showing major concern that is something that was not going to happen, and that we were going to be sitting at 3-4 because the Bears couldn't show that they could be a complete team and finish off and take care of a team like Miami and teams that they're supposed to beat, and playoff teams do that. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because that was something I did want to bring up, but I definitely didn't put it in my notes.
Yep, exactly. Dynamite drop in, Donnie. Okay, just a few more of the hottest takes from the hottest picker this side of Mike North.
Woo.
There's I read an article that was giving some Danny Trevathan quotes, and he mentioned that enough of the Khalil Mack stuff not being out on the field. We were a top 10 defense without him. We're a top 10 defense with him. So, and the same thing this morning on 670 Score, Akeem Hicks said, no more Khalil Mack questions, kind of the same thing. So I don't think there's any animosity there, but the Bears are saying, hey, we're dogs. We could get after it. We were top 10, obviously, before Mack.
Right.
Mitchell, I gave a ton of stats on how Mitchell is the second, had the second most yards rushing for any quarterback in the league, second to Cam Newton. And we saw a lot of that. Mitchell essentially kept many drives alive and more or less won the game on the offensive side with his feet. And early in the game, they've been going read option with Howard or Cohen and maybe setting them up for later on in the game. We saw the read option keep in the first quarter, which we haven't seen. So they're trying to win this football game any means necessary. And if Mitch has to dive a few times, Mitch has to dive a few times, although it's not ideal. You're trying to make it to the playoffs. So those are some of the hottest takes from the hottest dude with the hottest glasses.
Yes. But yeah, that Bears defense held them to 207 yards. And we're just looking at that stat compared to our 395. It's pretty dominant performance. It doesn't look like it by the numbers and the scores, but I mean, almost every single category. First downs, 22-12. Total yards, like I said, 395 to 207. Rushing yards, 179 to 57. Passing yards, 216 to 150. Penalties, only 2 for 25. They had 8 for 45. Time of possession, one of our favorite. We talk about it here all the time. 32-44, and the Jets had 27-16. Like, they dominated all the way down, plus no turnovers. They took care of the ball. So enough of to get away from singing their praises real quick. What about Parkey? I feel like I keep on if not every game, every other game, I'm finding a reason to be a little bit upset and wondering if we should bring in competition. I know that's kind of wild to say, but can I trust him? Can we trust him going forward?
You can't trust Justin Thomas or what's his name over at Baltimore. He made 222 straight extra points, and then he misses one. Nobody's really trustable.
Right.
So, can you bring in somebody in week 10 that you are going to deem trustable? I think you just out this year, and then maybe you get an undrafted free agent or something like that. You bring in some competition next year, but right now it is what it is, and you hopefully figures it out. This is first year kicking in Soldier Field, but shouldn't be missing those. Those are almost extra points.
Even if you don't plan on signing anyone, is it worth it to bring in somebody to go, hey, it's time to start kicking like your job depends on it? Some people are motivated. I don't know. I don't know how he's motivated. I don't know if they would put him in the bucket.
Neither you or I could answer that question, but I don't think we'll ever be confident unless he reels off like 10 in a row or something. And I don't think that is how you establish confidence in a kicker halfway through the season, bringing in competition.
Sure. I can appreciate that. The New York Jets drive in the fourth. The Eddie Jackson personal foul, and then he comes back and misses a tackle. The Jets found the end zone on a corner route later on that drive. That was a huge play. I thought that hit was a little bit unnecessary. I know it's old rules, no big deal. New rules, kind of the big deal. I mean, he has one or two steps and line that one up. And I saw him defend himself on Twitter afterwards, and I was still like, I thought that was pretty blatant. Like, you had time to not make he saw a guy, vulnerable, and he wanted to lay the wood. He laid the wood. I thought it was a little bit selfish, but we've all been at some level out there, and there's a shot to take, and you want to take it. Nowadays, you just can't take them, and it cost us. Luckily, we came right back, and all of a sudden, with all the confidence in the world, score right back on them. It was insane. I don't know where that came from.
Two massive personal foul penalties. The long one I didn't think was one, unless you can't. I thought it was more of a pancake block than anything. The play was still going. The whistle wasn't blown, and he was already engaged with that. I just think he's super strong, and he made almost like a superhuman play on somebody that wasn't ready for it, and he made it look really bad. But the Eddie Jackson thing, I think that's a personal foul in the old NFL. He had numerous steps that he took to hit the guy. He could have backed off at any time. I do appreciate the aggressiveness and making the guy think footsteps maybe later on, but it's fourth quarter, you're up big, and there's no need for that, but stupid football players.
Yep, I hear you. Speaking of the long play, I saw Hicks earlier in the game, away from the play after maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain, getting pushed out and then bent over himself, and someone finished the play real aggressive on him. pretty much after the whistle, and I was looking for a flag there myself and didn't get it. So that's why I was fuming here alone watching the game. Like, okay, we don't call that. Sometimes I just wonder, are they against the Bears? I just don't understand.
No, I don't know. I think it's just the ineptitude of NFL officiating, and you see it in so many different games, and there's all this ambiguity. What did you think about the Kyle Fuller flag thrown for a personal foul, targeting or whatever, and then they picked up the flag? That was like in the first quarter, first half.
I really feel like our secondary does a really good job of emphasizing leading with the shoulder pretty much all across the board, and they could all hit pretty well. I thought that he did lead with the shoulder, but unfortunately, when you're both level, I think their helmets hit, and I think they saw that the effort was there. And I thought it was good that they picked it up. I didn't think right away. When I saw the first replay, I went, "Oh man, that was helmet to helmet. All right, you got us." And they picked it up. I'm like, "All right, I felt like that was the right call anyway." But what did you think?
So it's not a penalty if you hit somebody in the helmet with your shoulder?
I think you're not supposed to target their head at all.
Yeah.
But I mean,
the guy was concussed. He left the game because of it. So like my thing is like, and I'm a Bears fan and everything, and I don't want penalties to go against them, but I was just like, all right, the dude was obviously concussed after the play. That play made it. Yes, he did not helmet to helmet him, but he still just crushed his head with his shoulder, incidental or not. But I don't know the rules of football. I tweeted that out, and I don't think
who knows anymore.
Dean Blandino. Who the heck is Dean Blandino? How the heck did he get that job? What did he major in college? I'm like, I want to be Dean Blandino. This guy does. What did you think about that play, Dean? Oh, I agree with that. His butt was on the ground. It's like these guys don't know anything, and it's just officiating is a travesty.
I agree. My final two thoughts were, number one, it seems like Nagy and these Nagy teams actually do make an adjustment. It's so refreshing. They try to do things a little bit differently, make some subtle adjustments to what they're seeing on defense. Their script goes pretty well, but then once they get out of the script, I feel like a lot of times the offense starts to slow down, but they come back out of the half with a new plan, and they really do pick it up. You've seen it numerous times, and again, this game, it's refreshing because last 2 years, we didn't see it at all, and it's just nice to see like real coaching. Even though I can be a little bit frustrated sometimes with this play calls, and then sometimes I'm like, yeah, I love the creativity, but then sometimes I'm like, oh, right here, I just want to pound it inside the 10. But then, if you hit the shovel pass and it goes in for a touchdown, I'm not going to complain if there's execution. So there's that screen pass to Burton where I was kind of like, I'm like, let's see Howard run the ball here. Let's get halfway there. I'm like, oh, well, if that worked, I would have, I feel like some of the his creativity brings a little unpredictability, which makes us harder to defend. It looked like you were about to chime in on something. I'd love you for your comments on that.
Yeah, just on the Matt Nagy line, he is aggressive. And I think his vision of the offense is moving it downfield vertically through the air. I mean, yes, with misdirection and some lateral stuff, but that's all these first down throws. That's his confidence in the offense. That's his confidence in his quarterback, and my dad and I were watching a Rams game, and it was 3rd and short, and Goff threw it long because he had single high safety with a man outside, man-to-man coverage. They don't care, which I don't know if it's right or not, but they don't care. They're not thinking down and distance. They're just seeing man-on-man coverage on the outside. My guy's faster than him. I'm going to throw it past him, and we're going to hit a 30, 40-yard play. It seems low percentage, but, Nagy and McVay and these guys now are, they're aggressive. They're trying to move the football. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's what's happening.
It makes sense. I mean, do I want to run to a 9-man box? Is that a high percentage play? Maybe it's not. The first thing you do is you check out your safeties, you check out your formation, you count the men in the box, you see if you see where the numbers are, and you go towards the numbers. If I got 1-on-1 on the outside, that's the numbers. But then you just know that you're going to get killed for not running the ball. if it doesn't work. And it's like it's crazy how you have to block out the fans, the media, and everything. They're gonna kill you, and you got to stick to your guns and how you think you're gonna be more effective. I do not envy the role of head coach in the NFL at all.
Tough.
No.
Multiple reasons why it's tough.
Yeah. Finally, after the slow start, I just want to say one more time, I was super impressed with Mitch Trubisky in the second half. I felt like he put the team on his back and with his legs and his arm and found a way to get it done in some tough conditions. After the first half, the kid is just true grit, man. And you're just seeing growth and growth on top of growth on top of growth. I'd love to see some of the little things go away and your fundamentals sharpen up quite a bit because they could be really fantastic. So it is a little frustrating, but man, you just start seeing these glimpses of a guy that was like almost like a Pro Bowl-esque type of second half performance. We're like, okay, let's go. I'll get us down there. Just follow me. We got this. Yeah. So that was my final thought.
I love the development, and NFL is very difficult. And I think the more that he's in it, the more his footwork is going to match. I think he's starting to identify the proper reads. I don't think his physical is matching his mental, but that's the natural progression of things. And he's getting the mental, which is the most important part. He's obviously super physically gifted. He will get the footwork that will match up with his accuracy that's already God-given, and the sky's the limit, and very exciting.
The sky is the limit. Sky's the limit for this Bears team. I'm glad I could say that, and I'm not talking about a sub-500 team that is going to be trying to claw their way into the playoffs. We're in position 1, first place Chicago Bears. I am Robert at ShyBearsPlus. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you didn't subscribe at the beginning, this is your last chance to do it in the next minute. So you only have one chance in the next minute to subscribe right now and smack the bell. Don't miss any content. You especially don't want to miss Jeff's Best Bets. I know that for a fact. So thank you so much for listening. Jeff, please plug yourself and then let the people go. Send them off how you usually do.
Yes, sir. You have been watching the Postgame Week 8 Bears victory Monday against the New York Jets. 4-3, back in first place. 5-3 after next week. Check out Jeff's Best Bets. We were 6-0 last week, 22-11-1 on the season. Ouch! Making that money. Check us out on Shy Bears Plus everywhere. We're taking it over. That's all she wrote.
But this is what Kansas City, Andy Reid called this a negative.